I'm going to share with you one example. Big Bang Theory. Anyone? I'm sure our audience has heard of it. Do you know where the term Big Bang came from? Out of curiosity.
No.
So, prior to the 1920s, scientists had taught that the universe was eternal. Secular scientists, atheist scientists, it was generally accepted that the universe was always there,
Mhm.
and so um, Hubble, with building his telescopes, looking at the stars, especially the distant stars, he observed what's known as a redshift. Basically, he observed that these stars are moving away from us, and that not only are they moving away from us, they're accelerating away from us. So over time, they're getting further and further, faster and faster, type thing. Almost like your sports car 0 to 60, it's like accelerating. That's what the
Mhm.
universe is doing to us. Um, and so he came out with his observations, and the science community made fun of him because what do you mean the universe is expanding? Because if you work backwards, right, it means that the universe yesterday was a little smaller than it was the day than today, and that the universe 100 years from now was a little smaller, and you keep going, right? Millions of years, billions of years, the universe was smaller, smaller, smaller. It became a point, and
Mhm.
it was like so that means that the universe at one point was just the point, literally, right?
Yeah.
If you extrapolate backwards. And so Hubble was like, well, the universe had to have exploded from that point, to form. And that explains the acceleration outwards
Mhm.
that he's observing. And
Mhm.
so the science community made fun of him, quite frankly. They're like, look at this guy with his Big Bang theory. That's where the term Big Bang came from,
Interesting.
is they were making fun of his theory. And even Einstein didn't believe him until, and you can see some photos of Einstein looking through Hubble's telescope and actually seeing the redshift for himself. So
Right.
that's 1920s, right? I mean, that's 100 years ago, not too long ago. So
Crazy.
one of the reasons why the science world didn't want to accept the Big Bang Theory, and I don't have the quote, so don't take my word for it, but this came about some documentaries I was looking at, was that it gave too much credit to the biblical worldview of the origin of the universe, right? So in
Mm.
the biblical worldview, it says, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth," right? Or it might have been heavens and the earth. The point being that the universe had a beginning, and the scientists prior to the 1925s always thought the universe was eternal. So the Bible can't be true. How could, the Bible saying the universe has a beginning? We all know the
Mhm.
universe was eternal. And now Hubble shows up with evidence that the universe had a beginning, right? And so it was really, really, really interesting. But going back to the singularity point, it's like in science and physics, we have what are known as laws of nature. One of them, or three of them, are Newton's laws of motions, right? Like an object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an external force. So if this universe was at a singularity, right, and always it was there at a singularity, like
Mhm.
what would be external to that point that would initiate the Big Bang, right? Because the singularity can't act on itself. It doesn't.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like electricity. When I run electricity through my up here in the light, the electricity didn't decide. Tuesday at 4 a.m. I'm gonna flow through the light bulb. It's like I need to flip the switch or program the switch to do that. So there's a mind in a way behind it. Electricity can't decide um, it's gonna do what it's doing.
Mhm.
Um, so when I look at the origin of the universe, the fact that the science is showing that the universe has a beginning, the fact that it's showing that the universe likely had a beginning from this singular, point here, it begs the question of where did that singular point come from? And
Mhm.
once that singular point did exist, what's the external force that would have chosen to initiate it, to
Mhm.
bang it, so to speak? So
Mhm.
one person will say, I know who banged the universe, who banged it. So yeah, so in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Mhm.
So in the beginning, so here I have the beginning of the universe, which is consistent with the Hubble observation. God created, so here's the external force, the heaven, which is space, and the earth, which is mass. So in the very first sentence of the Bible, it has the origin of space, time, and matter, and it's consistent. It's following what I know about natural laws that it's an external force that's needed. So what's external to space, time, and matter, right? Like God. So just that first sentence in the Old Testament, as a scientist, it begs my attention that even if I don't believe if I don't believe what it's going to make the claim of later, it got
Hmm.
it right. It got not only did it get it right, but it had it right from the beginning. The earliest text of the Bible essentially has this statement there, and every observation that we're making of the cosmological world so far is converging towards that description of the origin of the universe, and it's right there, in the scripture. Um, so it's very, 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 very fascinating.